Everyone, so this video I'll be showing you exactly how to create a responsive design using React, Vite, and Taiwind CSS. All right, so I'm a fan of Taiwind CSS and I use it in my applications. So I have this demonstration layout or page that I'll be using to teach some basic things in React. All right, so we'll be making this responsive. Now, when you look at it here, when you right click and go to inspect tool. Now this is the screen size of 640. You can see it's not really sitting well. It's not nice. It's not good in any way. If you go down to 320, it's even worse. So this is not responsive. So we'll be turning this page to be responsive. All right. Good. Basically turning this part responsive. Okay. So let's go up here and cancel this. All right. So the first thing you would need to do is to ensure that you have Taiwan installed on your application. All right. You have Taiwan installed and you have a working code. I can send this source file. You can download the source file from the description link. You can work with it. Okay. All right. So let me explain some things to you. Now, I use Chrome for my browser for development. And so the first thing you want to do to create responsive layout is you turn on the responsive layout on Chrome. So you right click and you go to inspect and you ensure that this part here called toggle device, this part is actually turned on. All right, so you can see I have it turned on. So as I unselect it now, I do not have the responsive layout anymore. So ensure that this part, if you're doing for the very first time, this will be actually off. So just turn it on. So here you can see the responsive, the responsive. If you go down to responsive here, you can see different screen that you can actually target and all of that. Okay, you can see all the different screens here. However, working with Taiwind, just make sure you select on responsive for you to have custom width to put here. All right, you put your custom width here. Then make sure you go to Taiwind.responsive. Like you can just type Taiwind responsive, like something like this. If you type it, just select this. Make sure you see these to select. All right, that's what leads you to this page here that shows you the different default build pages, breakpoints by Taiwind. Now these are called breakpoints. All right, so you see this one 640 XM, which is telling you that the media is greater than and less than. All right, 640 pixel. This is greater than, less, greater than or equals to, or greater than or equals to 640 pixel, greater than or equals to 768 pixel. Same thing with this, same thing with this. All right, so this is the default screens resolutions for from Taiwind, SM, MD, LG, XL, and 2XL. All right, so I'll be showing how you do this with Taiwind, and I also show how you do that with pure CSS. Okay, so let's get started with Taiwind actually. So we can see this is not responsive. Now for me, this is how I target my screen. I start from 320 to design. If it's fitting well on 320, I'm fine. Some people start from 390 pixel, but for me, I take it as low as 320. Right, so SM, if you look at the SM here from Taiwan, you can see that the screen size from 640 pixel. Okay, 640 pixels. So it means something like 639 is not targeted. So you may not, if you start with SM, you may not, you won't be targeting anything from 639 downward. All right, so what we normally do is that you can design mobile friendly first and then start from SM to begin to target specific breakpoints. All right, so that's what I usually do. And I'll also be showing you how you can actually incorporate your own custom screen in Taiwan. So if you go back to your stuff here, open your code, and if you want to incorporate your own custom screen, go to Taiwan config.css.js file. This one you'll find here. Right. So if you go to your config file, you can go under extend. It has to be under theme, then extend. Then you can see the extend object. Then here you can declare the various classes. All right, so here you have the index. This is one I added for index. For screen, you just target screens. All right, there's an object. Then here you can begin to target the various screen sizes you want to. If you want to modify the current one that Taiwan already has, you have to give it the same name. So you have to give it the same name, SM. All right, you have to be SM. Then you target the value you want. All right, but I am not interested in All right, so if you want to have your own screen, you have something like, then you'll be modifying the existing screen that was there. Is already a class, it's a class from Taiwan. So if you want to modify the breakpoint, it's currently 640, you may just say, okay, 768 pixel, that's what you want. But I've been working with the current Taiwan classes breakpoint, and they've been serving me, right? So um, there are also instances where you could actually create your own custom screen. Okay, so let's get this started with this page, and we have this page here. So the first thing I really want to do, if I look at this page here, you can see that I rendered everything on that is on the home page. So I would want to create a component called product. So go to your layer, your component folder, and create component folder, then create product folder. Then in the product folder, you can create the product file, product.component.css. All right, and you can create the product CSS file, product.css, module.css, right? So product.css, right? Okay, yeah, product.css. Okay, so I'm in the product file. So export function product component. That's the name of the component. Return. So I'm just moving everything I have on the home page to the component. So we have something like this, and we can just go with this whole class we have here. Okay, then the product itself can come here. So I can just move all of this, cut it out, or I can just go with everything here. So you can have the parent div. I want to make the parent div class, and the width of full because I'm importing it, and height full, and you want to make it flex column. All right, so inside it I can paste this one, then I would have this. So we can create the global state equals to use context, and see global context, global use context. In it I can have the states, dispatch ones, the button icon, I can import it, then the delete stuff here, and I think I already have icon. Let me see. Just want to close all of this. Then I think I have the icon component here. So I can replace this button here with the icon class. I use remix for icons. I can use this class. I think I have class name prop. So I can just use all of this class name here for it. Then I can remove this. Okay, now I can import this in the home page. Okay, so let's see if it works. You are still there, so it's working. Well, the only thing missing is the delete icon. So let's see what's wrong with it. All right, so you should go to Remy's icon npm is this one. So get it and install your code. Good. Let's see. I think you have to import something. Yeah, the CSS. So import the CSS on your app root. Your app root as your app entry points. This should be this one. Okay, as you can see, it's working. And so the icon needs to be changed a little and close this. Okay, wanted to use this one. So I can actually remove this one. Then pass the class to it. So you can do something like this. Icon class name. Go back to products. Then pass this class to it. Okay, so you have something like this. All right, so that's it. Can see it's working. So the most important thing now is the responsive design. So let's go back to it. So if you go here, you see it's not responsive. So one thing you can do is go to the products, web products. So anything before SM, this is SM, this SM, which is greater than or equals to 640 pixel. So anything from 639 down is not covered with this class. So this assume that anything you put here before you put SM would fall in between 0 to 639 pixel. Right. So what do I mean? Look at the grid that handles the display of the items on the layout. It's saying that it's grid column 3. And that is why you have grid column 3. This is the grid column 3. Right. You can see there are 3 items in display because this is grid column 3. So I can actually say, okay, the grid column 3 should start from, let's start with this one and change it to grid column 1. So it will have one. So you can see now is showing error because you can't have these two classes together. So I have to determine the breakpoint for this. So for the breakpoint for this can be SM to the row is gone. So what this means that SM we start from 640 and above. From 640 and above, we definitely cover this one. So and from 640 and above, we definitely become column 3 item display. Then anything from 639 downward will just be one item display. So if you look at the page now, you can see is now one item display from 320, right? So if you go down to this, it is still one item in display, all right? So that is how to do that. And if you look at it again, you can see that I have a lot of spaces here. So how do I increase this space? Like it is quite much. Why don't I just increase it since the screen is smaller? All right, now that is what I want to use the media query for. That's the raw CSS file in determining screen responsiveness. So that's what I want to show you as well. Okay, so if you remember, one of the things that what is actually giving this large margin here you're seeing is actually because of this. Okay, if you look at my homepage, I have All right, I have this custom container modified. This is coming from my index of CSS, which is actually my container box. Okay, so you can see it here. So what I want to do is that on the smaller screen, I want to reduce the padding to perhaps something like maybe 15. Okay, and I'll modify some other things here. Right, so how I can do that is directly my CSS file. So I'll be introducing what they call CSS query, media query. You can use it to determine screen responsiveness in your application. So let's just copy everything I have here. So go down here from here, somewhere at the end of your other codes. You can start from here. So I have this media, is a media, then max width, determine max width. For me, let me see, the max width for this is 639, which is before the breakpoint, before the breakpoint, SM breakpoint from Taiwind. All right, so from 640 becomes Taiwind. All right, so here I can say, okay, media max width. I want to target this class I have. I have custom container modified, which is a class. So one of the things I want to do is I want to change this to like 10. I'm coming to change it to 10. So you can see the spaces have reduced. Okay, so this is actually how you target. This is how you target. So this is how you target your own custom space. You can as well increase the size to maybe 1800. There are only two things I modified here, so I can remove the ones I'm not modifying. I'm not modifying height, I'm modifying this. I'm only modifying these two classes, these two fields. All right, so these two fields can be left for this. And you can see immediately I get to 620, see it has actually increased. So it looks better this way. All right, so what happens is immediately I get to 639, it still remains, but you can see now that it's becoming too big. All right, so it's too big now. So maybe what I need to do is increase it. By the time I get to, let's look at it, let's see when we may have to increase it. We'll keep going down here. So let's just test it around. So we want to say that immediately it gets to, so let's say 550. So immediately it gets to 550, we want to minimize, like reduce, increase the spaces that we have at the margin end here, right? So let's go back. So we can have another media query. So we can just copy the one we have here, copy this one. All right, so the max width for this would be, since it is 550, so we can say 549, right? Um, no, it's going to be, this one should now be 549. That is, this increased width will be 549, and this one will now be the 639. 639, okay. So at this point we want to increase it to 20, or let's say 15. Let's try 20 and see how it looks like, and this we can make it 1600 the way it was before. So let's see. All right, this space is okay. This 550, which is where this one ended, this one started. So let's see, maybe 25. Right, so you can see the space now. So by the time you get to 549, see the space increase. So 550 it reduced. So let's look at how it looks like in 640. At 640, I'm okay with this, but this is not nice. So we can reduce this layout to 2 layouts. So go back to product. This is how you do your responsiveness with the raw CSS. You use media query and target the screens and breakpoint that you want. All right. So let's go back to the product. Now we can see that the grid column of 3 in SM, remember SM starts from 640. It's not really fitting nice. So what you can do is that you may remove this to MD. Now what is MD? The MD is actually starting from 768. All right. So it means from 640 to 750, okay, 767, we have the same definitions. All right, so in this case, let's go back here and change this to MD. So if this is now MD, it means your 3 column layout will start from 768. All right, so it means from 640 to 767 you have, I currently have one, but I can just change it now. You can see if I save this and look at it, you'll see that it's going to give you one, but I don't like one. Some people will be fine with this. This is actually okay. All right, but look at what look at it becomes a problem when you get to somewhere around 700. For instance, to me, it becomes too big. Some people will still be okay with this. However, I would want to have SM to have grid column of 2. All right, SM grid column of 2. All right, so we'll have these two now. It's better this way. And if you look at it on 640, it's not looking bad. It's not looking bad. Okay, that's good. It's not looking bad. You can as well target your raw CSS and increase the width here, and it gets even way bigger. Okay, I can also target the gap. You can see the gap here. The gap we have currently is gap 5, so we can move the gap 5 to LG and see that the gap is actually just 3. Okay, that is 3. And if you look at it, the gap has reduced. Okay, now when we get to 767, it's looking nice. It's fine on 2. Now when we get to 768, it changes to 3. You can see. So if you're not okay with this, if you still feel it is too small, however, it's actually okay because 768 actually goes all the way to 1, 2, 3. All right, this is the last breakpoint for 768. All right, so from 768 to 123 is another screen responsiveness. Okay, this one you can see it started from 768, and the next screen is LG, which start from 1024. That means from 768 to 1023 belongs to MD. All right, so that's it. If you go to this, we still have the same 3 display. All right, so you can work on this, you can develop more on this. This is exactly how it is done. All right, so you can also have your own screen. If you go to Taiwan class, go to screen, so you can say extra small. If you have some screens that you want to target extra small, so you can, or if you have a custom screen you want to, but let's just say extra small. You can say extra small is probably, let's say 320 pixel, right? So if you now want to target this screen, if you go to your application where you're working, you can just simply say, do this way, extra XM, then you target what you want to target. So you can now call your CSS class here, says text x5l. So just like the other ones, the way we've been doing them, you name the screen name, column, semicolon, then you pass in the class, CSS class you want. Right, that's exactly how you can also do with your own custom screen, and it works. That's exactly how it works. So this is actually about the responsiveness that you can do with CSS and Taiwind.